Good morning, all. My name is Bobby Sanchez, and I'm adding to my Wordsmith channel after a, uh, a little bit of delay. I need to make some announcements. First of all, I unwillingly will be accepting my retirement now that I've turned 63. I've been out of work for 7 months now and have not been successful in securing a decent paying job. I have no objection to working anywhere as long as the wage is halfway decent. If I work for minimum wage, I cannot pay my rent, so that's why I tend to avoid those kinds of positions. However, that being said, now that I have accepted retirement, I am more free to accept commission-only recruiting positions. So if anyone has anything they would like me to work on, I would be grateful for the opportunity. Today we're going to talk a little bit on the Wordsmith about employment scams. I am embarrassed to say that I almost was the victim of such a scam. Not being able to work for 6 months has really done a number on my financial stability and my credit rating, which is now in the toilet. So I am letting you know about this so that hopefully you can avoid the pitfall that I fell in. 2 days ago, I was searching Facebook and I came across an ad for data entry people who were being hired for a company that specialized in hemp out of Utah. And basically, the company's name was Canaway. So basically, no insult intended for Canaway. To cut to the chase, I verified that this person was not legitimate, and I also verified that Canaway does not hire for these types of positions that I was applying in the ad for. So back to the story. I responded to the ad saying that I was interested, that I was looking for a remote position where I could make a decent wage and be able to to work out of my home, because right now I don't have a car. I'm losing the car to the finance company, so I have no vehicle, and in the heat it's very difficult to walk. I tried that 3 times, almost killed myself, so I'm not going to try that again. At any rate, I took instructions in an email that told me to go to Google Hangouts and sign in. And they gave me an address to sign in to, and I did it. And I was interviewed by an individual on the other end, which I don't know. He never gave me his name. He just called himself Canaway LLC. Anyway, that's Kannaway for those who are interested in the company. It's a great company. It's just that this person was impersonating them. Okay, so I'm answering questions on Google Hangouts. Why are you looking for a job? How fast can you type? What is it that you want out of an employer? The standard interview questions. Okay, I did all that, and at the end of about 45 minutes of answering questions, I was told that I had impressed the interviewer. And I said, oh, that's good, And anyway, I wasn't expecting anything, but he was going to wait until, he was going to give me information the following morning, and that I needed to be near my computer in the morning so that I could get my instructions. And so we signed off. And so yesterday morning at 8 o'clock, I was in front of my computer waiting for Google Hangouts. So about 9:30, he contacts me and says that HR had made the decision to hire me. Well, after being out of work for 6 months, you can imagine that I was pretty happy about that. At least for the moment. At that moment, I was happy. Okay? And so I And so I proceeded to, wait for instructions. And so he emailed me over Google Hangouts, or he messaged me over Google Hangouts and said, you need to have a bank account, and I need to give you the money for your equipment that you're going to need. And so I said, what is that? He said, well, you're going to need some software, and you're going to need a Mac Air, and you're going to need this anyway. So about $4,500 worth of stuff. So, and I said, really? I said, I'm supposed to buy that? He said, yes. He said, I'm going to send you a check. And immediately bells started going off in the old noggin, and I said, are you serious? You're going to send me a check? And so anyway, he said yes, and I said, because this had happened once before, I was sent a check and it turned out to be fraudulent, so I wasn't going to get involved with that again. So that's usually what I do. If I get a check, I go to the bank and I verify whether it's a real account, and if it isn't, then I give it over to the bank and let them take care of it. But at any rate, so I proceeded to tell him that I didn't want a check. And he says, okay, well, give me the routing number for your bank. And I did, and he said that that bank was not on the ones that he could accept. And that turned out to be a blessing in disguise, really. But anyway, I was disappointed because not being able to get around that well, that meant that I would have to go walking around finding a bank, and I didn't want to do that because here in Texas it's almost 98 to 100 degrees in the daytime, and that is very unforgiving. So I was not going to do that again, So at any rate, he also wanted my Sprint account, my cell phone carrier, and right now my cell phone is down. Okay, so therefore. Therefore, I'm thinking, I'm sorry, I have to get through my disappointment here. But at any rate, he wanted it, and I said, well, they're going to pay my Sprint bill. I said, oh, really? And I said, you do realize that it's $493 right now? And I said, I can't pay it, so you guys are going to pay it. He said, yes. So, turned out to be a big farce. After much hemming and hawing, he finally gave me a bank account and routing number. He said, take this and open up your Sprint account and pay it. And I said, okay. So I did, and Sprint declined to take it. He said that I needed to contact Telecheck. And so again, that's another radar. Well, about that time that I got that information, I received the answer to the inquiry that I had made to the actual Canaway company. And they said that they do not hire data entry people, that there's no job description, that we're not hiring at all for those kind of positions. And so then I knew the guy was a scammer. And so that's when I quickly disconnected. So anyway, I was very disappointed because, like I said, if you're out of work for, a certain number of months, finances are tight, you're only existing at the grace of your church, who's given you money for your, rent and food and internet. And, it's just like you feel like you've hit bottom. It's very hard to describe what kind of things a person goes through when they learn that they've been had, So anyway, here's what you can do to protect yourself. Okay, you respond to an ad or someone calls you and says they have a job. Okay, number one red flag, nobody gives a name, okay? They don't even say, hello, my name's Joe Smith, or my name is Jane Reed, or whatever. They don't give you any of that. They just said, hi, I'm with X company, and we are hiring for X, okay? So they contact you where there's no face-to-face contact. In other words, there's no camera, there's no, like interaction on Skype, there's no camera, there's nothing. And so, that's when it should go up, So anyway, you send the resume per the request of the interviewer, and you may talk a little bit, in messaging of some form to give them the information about you, like, why you're looking. Here's my resume. Here's what I'm looking for in an employer. My weaknesses are, my strengths are, whatever the kind of questions you get in an interview. Okay, if there's an exchange and names are exchanged, then there's a chance it's legitimate. Okay. Usually they will call you on the phone after the email contact and the Hangouts contact, and talk to you that way. And once they do that, then the chances are good that it's a legitimate job that they're presenting. Okay. If, on the other hand, you get information like, I'm going to send you a check, and I want you to deposit that into your account, and you will use that to set up your office at home, that is a red flag. Okay. Before any kind of check is exchanged, okay, verify the check with the bank, either your bank, they can find out if the check is legitimate, or the bank the check is written on, because they have a phenomenon called washed checks. And I don't know how the technology works, but basically they take a legitimate check and they have a way of removing the ink that identifies the person the check is written to, and the amount of the check. They leave the signature alone. Okay. And then they replace it with whatever information they have. Okay. And the check looks legitimate. There's nothing wrong with it. It looks legitimate, but take that guy to the bank and verify it. Now, if they come back and say it's real, then then it's not a scam. Okay. So I wanted to pass that along to you in the event that you've been out of work as long as I have, and you are looking for a good opportunity. Okay. As a result of my job search or lack of job, I'm going to be forced to take retirement now that I've turned 63. I think I already mentioned that. However, I don't let things get me down. So, like I said, here at the Wordsmith, Wordsmith is my company. I do resumes. Okay. I have, made attempts to earn some money doing resumes, and I still, I do a decent job. I am going to need some support. So if you think that this channel is worthy and you think that I should have a chance to do more, okay. I don't know if this, oops, it's backwards. Oh well. Okay, I'll read it off. Okay, for those of you who would like to support the channel and support me in what I do to try to help others, you can send me money through PayPal, donations through PayPal. Any amount is appreciated, 50 cents on and up to infinity. Anything is appreciated, okay? If you know how PayPal works, you have to have, an email to send something to the individual. So my email that I use is Wordsmith, WORDSMITH, at words, WORDS, dash, the letter R, dash, US.com. Okay, that's my business email address. My personal email address for PayPal is armyvet@bigfoot.com. For those of you who are on Patreon, www.patreon.com, that's patreon.com. I have a posting there too. And in order to see that, what you need to do is go to patreon.com and navigate to the Wordsmith LLC. In other words, it's all together, THEWORDSMITH LLC. And you'll see my posting and request for donation and so on. I do request that you support my channel. I am trying to do good here. I have a lot of skills that will help people get jobs. I have, I'm able to do coaching. I am able to do mock interviews. I am able to, provide, advice based on experience. I am in the process of getting my master's degree in psychology, so, hopefully get a counseling license, but that's in the future. Okay. At any rate, I'm glad to have the opportunity to present this to you, and I thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. You will see more from me, so thank you, and this is Bobby Sanchez signing off.